And you're listening to Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Hello, everyone. My name is Luke Rainey. Joining alongside me, as always, is Andrew Mercier. First, we're going to give an update for your current weather. It is 75 degrees and mostly cloudy. Tonight's low will be 47 degrees and mostly cloudy as well. So, that being said, we'll get into introductions for two of our guests that we have this week. It's going to be Ian Switzer and Hunter Mckee. So starting off with Hunter, he is a sophomore here at SHIP and joined the PSK fraternity in the spring 2025 semester. He was recruitment chair in the fall 2025 semester and is now the social chair. He is currently studying finance for PFP. And also, he is involved in intramural sports and is a desk assistant for Seavers Hall. Other than that, he says he tries to focus on his schoolwork, too. And also, now transitioning into Ian Switzer, he's a sophomore, joined in the fall 2025 semester, serves as recruitment chair, involved in athletic chair as well. He's an accounting major. He used to be on the club baseball team. And for both of you, like we said, talk about, you guys are both brothers of PSK. Hunter and Ian, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I always like to start off this show. Just don't mind us. It's been a few weeks since we've been in the studio, so we're glad to kind of revive things here before the semester ends. But I always just simply like to ask the question, why did you join Greek life? And also, why did you come to Shippensburg University in the first place? Hunter, if you want to go first.
Well, to answer why I came to Shippensburg, honestly, I didn't get into Penn State. I really wanted to go to Penn State University, and I got accepted for branch campuses. And also the finance program here is very good, and I knew that coming here, so decided to come to Shippensburg for that reason. And honestly, dude, joining Greek life was just kind of something that happened. The fall semester, I was always hanging around the guys, and they actually kind of became I became close with them.
Right.
And it didn't feel like a pay for friend kind of mentality that I feel like Greek life normally, I guess, has that stereotype.
Yeah.
And just hanging around the guys a lot, I kind of realized that this was bigger than just the weekends, and it's a brotherhood, and I really enjoy being in the frat, and I really love my brothers, for being honest with you.
Yeah, and then, like we've talked about before so many times in the show, that's a common answer we get where it's not something you expected to do showing up, but you felt like you're involved in it, and it was a little bit different than your expectations. Ian, I want to hear from you the same answers. I want to hear from you the same question, at least asking you. Why'd you join Greek life? Why'd you come to SHIP?
Of course. I joined Shippensburg because, originally I wanted to go to West Virginia. But I was looking to do an engineering program.
Yeah.
And, I came here last year as an engineer, major. That didn't end up working out, but obviously the money was definitely a big aspect of it. But I'm definitely glad I came here. For Greek life, I met some people last year who were, great people, and I'm still close with all of them. One of them's my roommate currently. But I was just looking for a group of people. I played baseball in high school, and they were my guys. We hung out all the time, did everything together, and I was looking for that same aspect here. So I kind of looked towards Greek life for that, and the people that I met have been great people, and they've definitely filled in that hole that I was looking for.
And you were involved in baseball here for a little bit, right? Was that my understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about that, pursuing university here, and then also thinking about pursuing baseball as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I played baseball all of high school, and I definitely enjoyed playing baseball, but I didn't think I wanted to play at the next level.
Right.
But I got here, and I was always looking to do something with baseball. It's definitely something I enjoyed doing. So I was looking towards the club baseball aspect of it, but there was no club baseball program at the time. And at some point, we kind of put it together and got it set up. I think that kind of fell off. I didn't come back this year. But I think the club baseball team isn't a thing anymore. Yeah. But it was definitely important for me. So
yeah. I mean, that's something that I've heard from a lot of our guests throughout the years. Actually, plenty of people that we've talked to. Derek Whitmer, for an example that we had on earlier this semester. He played football here at the university for 2 years, I believe, and then ultimately transitioned. At one point, he was actually doing Greek life and football, and then now he's really putting his priorities towards his academics and Greek life, which, I can really respect that. Another person that we had on was the director of OSFL, Dylan Curtis, who was a former long snapper here at Shippensburg University. And that's something that he really talked about. Like, he never joined Greek life when he was a student because he had football and stuff. But, you know, he talked about the atmosphere of, like, it's almost, you know, when you're part of a team like that, there's almost a fraternity within, you know, the sports program. You know, it's the same concept of, like, you know, a band of brothers at the end of the day that are going to do everything for each other no matter what. So, you know, I found that really interesting to hear that from you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys are both as well. I mean, you know, looking at you know, what you guys sent us, of course, before the show started. Hunter, you being involved in finance. Ian, you being involved in accounting. How do you get those interests, so to speak, for those sorts of math-heavy, business-heavy majors? I mean, I know a lot of people who obviously pursue the accounting program at not just this school but other universities. But just, I guess, Hunter, if you want to go first, I mean, talk about your interest in finance. How'd that get sparked?
If I'm being honest, my dad, he's my biggest role model, in my opinion, and he's in finance as well. So I guess he got into finance like in 2019. And if I'm being honest with you, I had really no idea like what I wanted to pursue once I got to college after high school, and just kind of chose finance and to hope that, you know, maybe one day, you know, when my dad retires, I can kind of take over for him on what he's still doing. But he explains a lot of his work to me, and it sounds fun. It involves using your personality, which I enjoy doing a lot. Apparently, he gets a lot of free lunches, so got to take advantage of that.
You told me PFP. What does that stand for again? I've always read that during the introduction. You told me before the show, and it's escaping my memory.
Personal financial planning.
Personal financial planning.
So, yeah, just planning for, I mean, everything, retirement, investing, all that stuff.
Okay. So it basically, it sounds very, I don't say managerial, but like that's a lot of life 101 that perhaps some people, like me, for example, I can't say I'm a financial wizard. I know exactly how to manage all my funds and whatnot. So that's especially, I think it's going to be an important role for people to do one day. And everybody, obviously, money's never going away. So it's not like there's going to be no demand for your career at any point.
Yeah, right.
Ian, I want to hear about your interest in accounting, of course.
Sure. So going back to high school, this doesn't really equate to accounting, but it was more the engineering side. I was working as a auto tech because originally I wanted to work on cars for my job. I didn't even want to go to college.
I guess I should backtrack. So you're studying engineering. I flip-flopped the description in my head.
No. I'm doing accounting now.
You're in the accounting.
Yes.
Okay, my mistake.
No, you're good.
Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was going to do like car work for my career. And I met one of these guys that I worked with. His name was Jerry. And he was like, I don't know if you want to do this for the rest of your life. Like, it's hard work. You'd probably be better to do something where you're sitting down. When you're 40 years old, you're not going to be working on cars. So he told me to join an engineering program. And that's how I ended up looking at Shippensburg and West Virginia and those other schools. And that didn't end up working out here. But I definitely enjoyed engineering. Turning off of that, I just wanted something that, like, I know I have a great chance of success for in my future. I want to be comfortable living for like my family and everything. So I looked at accounting for that, and obviously that's more math heavy too.
Yeah.
And I already feel like I'm pretty decent with math because I was doing the engineering part of it. So that's kind of how I ended up turning to accounting. I also know a bunch of people who are doing accounting, like Derek Warfel and whatnot. They recommended accounting, and I kind of just turned to that.
Yeah, word of mouth, I especially feel like whenever you have to shift your goals, that matters a lot, because if someone else can trust it, that you trust as a person, and they trust what they're doing academically, I think that probably helps a little bit.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to go back into the Greek life side of things. So, of course, Hunter, you came in first in spring of 25, and you talked about like kind of your background getting in. New member, that was your new member semester. That semester you became a brother. Can you just talk about that experience? What would have made that special for you, number one? Number two, how did that vary perhaps from the expectations? Because you talked about earlier, wasn't what you expected. How did that vary a little bit from what you were thinking it was going to be?
Honestly, so when I became a new member, I was already really close with a couple of the guys in my class that I was rushing with. And didn't think that I'd be able to get much closer with them, but like turns out like You do. I got a lot closer with them over the course of the semester, and even the brothers at the time I got really close with. And honestly, like, I had a lot of fun that semester, and like sometimes like I've been getting like memories on my Snapchat recently, and it just brings back a lot of good memories for me.
I can imagine. And how about you, Ian? It was fall 2025 for you. So you came in a semester after. You were a new brother by that point, Hunter. So
Right. I thought it was great. It was kind of opposite of what Hunter had, though, because I didn't know anyone that I was rushing with. And it turned out that I met, like, 3 great guys. And I had a lot of fun. I met a bunch of brothers. I'm really close with a lot of the seniors now, which is kind of, like, it's kind of sad because they're about to graduate. But that whole thing, it was definitely a lot of fun. I mean, I met Hunter. But, yeah.
real quick, Andrew, before you ask, how many guys are you graduating this semester?
We have
5.
We have 4. Well, I guess 3 that are currently active. One that kind of switches between active and inactive as he pleases, and then we have 3 inactive. So total that up, you got 7.
Yeah, 7 or so. Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. Who's the one that switches between active and inactive?
Meatball.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, we're losing. What's the number, Andrew? It's got to be.
No, it actually isn't. I mean, it's bad, but it's not as bad as it was. I believe the last time I checked, it was like 15 or 16. Yeah. Originally, I don't know if I just had the spreadsheet all messed up or something, but we were originally looking at 20 plus, and then again, I think I went in there and made some corrections, and ultimately some people decided that they were going to stay on for an extra semester, whether they didn't do too well in a course or changed their major or minor. So there's about 15 of us. Luke and myself are 2 of them. Less than a month, actually. It was a month as of yesterday.
Yeah, May 9th that's the 0 hour, so to speak. It's hard to believe, and I will tell you, like, entering this final month, it definitely doesn't feel real, because like it's the little stuff I think that adds up at some point. You walk around campus even, and you're like, especially if you're by yourself, just kind of in your own head, you're looking around, and you're like, oh my gosh, like I've done this for 3.5 years. It's all my brain has ever known for the past however many, like over 1,000 days in my life at this point. And now May 9th happens, I graduate. I'm going to be moving somewhere else to start my next opportunity on May 10th, and that will begin on May 11th. So that's a really, like, it's a quick turnaround, number one, but just like that, it's all over. I mean, it's shocking. So all that to be said, I can absolutely tell you that you guys being sophomores, it's easy for me to say this as a senior, and perhaps harder for you guys to understand it 2 years younger. But yes, you will get to this point. It comes for us all, but try and enjoy everything you can. And I'll say this, we're going to take a quick little break. We got so much more to cover here with both Hunter Mckee and Ian Switzer on Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM. Stay tuned. And you're listening to Greek Speak again, like we said, on WSYC 88.7 FM with Hunter Mckee and Ian Switzer. And Andrew, you're pointing your finger. Do you have anything you want to add in here?
Yeah, I got a couple things, actually. So it's actually kind of funny that, ironic that you two have talked about how you've gotten a little bit closer, very close with the seniors, because I felt the exact way when I was a sophomore. I was very, very close with a lot of the graduating seniors from the class of 2024, Ethan Cernicki, JJ Centavine, and then Jake Corwell was originally in there, but then he switched his major, so it pushed him back a little bit. That's actually my big in the organization, so huge shout out there. But those were some of my best friends, some of the people that I leaned on. Trenton Klauser was also in there. That was another important guy. One of the biggest role models and mentors that I have to this day. But
Dan Singleton.
As well. There's just a lot of people. It's countless names, and that was a large graduating class for us. But that's ultimately what pushes us forward each and every day. I mean, those were the people that pushed me to pursue leadership. I took office in spring of 2024, so it was as they were going out, that's when I was coming in as a leader in the organization. So that really made my experience a lot better. But speaking with you two, I've been looking forward to this. As soon as I found out that you two were coming on, I was pretty excited because we actually had Sean, I would say 2 semesters ago, and that was actually one of my favorite episodes I actually see myself listening to it every once in a while. I don't know if you guys listened to it before you came on.
Yeah, I went through and watched it.
It's definitely one that's very put together. And I've always said this about Sean. I say Sean's one of the most mature people, like, at his age. It's really, it's so weird. Like, I remember talking to him about that. I think he was a sophomore at that point, maybe. But that doesn't matter. But, I remember him just talking. I'm like, wow, like, how are you thinking about these different things? So, Sean's a great person. I know that he was your previous president, and now you have Chase in there. Chase is a great person as well.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think that you guys are really, on the rise. And, out from an outsider perspective, I am proud of you guys in terms of your growth.
Thank you.
We've all been working hard together, community service, grades, and stuff like that. But, I'll kind of go to Hunter. So you talked about, like, your experience and, like, you never really, expected it to be like that. That was kind of how I felt. What were some ways that you saw yourself really trying to put yourself out there? Was it, I know one of you guys talked about playing intramurals. Is that something that you're big in within your chapter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What intramurals do you like to participate in? I used to participate in them, but, I'm a little bit out of my prime, if some would say. So, I just like to watch from the sidelines.
Well, kind of answering both your questions with one answer. One way that I was really able to, I guess, get to know the brothers like a lot better is because during my freshman fall semester, I told them about how I played soccer in high school. So literally, like, that first, I don't remember what week it was into the semester, but I mean, I was on the team and I was getting to know the guys, and we had a playoff run all the way to the championship, and then we actually ended up losing to you guys in the championship that year. But I think that, like, and like again, like, kind of like Ian said, like, I was kind of looking for that kind of camaraderie, I guess you could say, that I had with my team in high school, and it just kind of, like, all felt natural when I was, like, back on the field playing with them. And Sean, actually, like, he plays as well, and I used to hang around with him all the time at the house. He would invite me over, and we would just hang out, kick back. And now he's my big, actually.
Really? That's fun. That's fun.
Love the guy. He's such a good kid.
I think the Bigs and Littles program is very beneficial. I mean, I went to a private high school, and it was a private school. It was K through 12, and what we had was a very similar process. So it was a Oaks and Seedlings program,
Okay.
And then you could also be a Grand Oak. You would be a Grand Oak as a senior in high school, and then you would be an Oak as a freshman, and then you'd be a Seedling as a sixth grader. So they were creating, like, different family lines, and they designated at least 1 to 2 days a semester where you would just hang out with your family.
Yeah.
So when I came to college and then ultimately joined Greek life, I thought it was really ironic that it was very similar. So I really fell in love with the process, and I've ultimately been in charge of that for the last 2 years. And some would say it's definitely time for me to put it to rest, and I'm done. But Ian, I want to talk to you about yours. Kind of similar question that I asked Hunter. You're in a little bit of a different predicament because you were a fall new member rather than a spring new member. You joined as a sophomore rather than the freshman. Walk me through that process of, like, your freshman year. Were the thoughts there, or was it like, no, I don't want to, and then you came back in the fall as a sophomore, and you're like, let's do it. So
that's literally exactly how it went. I came around a couple times to hang out with the guys in the spring. I was gonna rush, but last second I just couldn't do it. I didn't know. I didn't know if that was really for me. But over the summer, I kind of hung out with my friends at home, and I came back to school, and I was like, screw it. Why don't I just try it out? I mean, the worst that happens is I don't like it, and then I could just drop. But it's definitely been very beneficial, and I'm definitely glad that I rushed. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're wearing a pretty nice polo. I always see you guys always have some really nice merch. So, nice shout out there. It's always some nice stuff. But I'll pass things back over to Luke. I'm sure he's got something fun to say.
Well, we got our jerseys. I'd say we're starting to catch up on the merch ground, especially last year when we finally got the jerseys. So we got on that fad a little bit too. But I think this is a good segue as we go into the second half of this show, because I kind of want the second half to dominate, like, what's really coming up for the Greek community in its entirety. And in my opinion, It's not something that, I mean, to be transparent, it's not something I've been as excited about in years past, but I feel a certain way about it this year, especially because I will say this, I have a critical role in one of the competitions, and it's not a sport, but we'll talk about that. It's Greek week, so this is, of course, big week. Those who don't know, I'm sure we talked about before on the show. This is a week where the fraternities, sororities all compete against one another. Fraternities versus fraternities, sororities versus sororities. But a lot of the events are very similar, number one. Number two, there's a strong push for philanthropy, cash wars that goes on throughout the week. And number three, it also gives brothers a chance to show their talents in a variety of different ways and apply them in a very competitive setting, and one that maybe sometimes some people take a little bit too seriously, but also one that really shows ways that your organization can stand out within the Greek community. So that being said, Hunter, you would have had this experience in the spring. Ian,
Yes.
you were joining the fall, so this is probably your first time around the merry-go-round, if you
Yeah.
will. Can you talk about what that was like as a new member, Hunter, in spring of 25?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the brothers obviously had, I guess, seniority over me about, like, you know, what sports that they were going to be, or competitions that they were going to be competing in. So I was really just more focused on the dance and the lip sync, which I love. I feel like I have that energy, and I feel like I'm a pretty good dancer, if I'm being honest with you. But another thing that I really enjoyed with Greek Week last year was the coin, or like the medallion.
Medallion hunt,
Yes,
yes.
the medallion hunt.
Daily event.
And like I remember there was one day where it was at like that little building. I don't know what kind of building it is, but it's like right across from where your guys' house is.
Oh.
I forget what
Oh,
building it's
the
called.
Little Red Schoolhouse or something like that.
Yeah. And I was up at Old Main, just like kind of waiting, ready to run wherever I had to run, and saw the picture, sprinted after it, and luckily one of my brothers beat me to it.
You've got to be kidding me. So this thing's right next to our house, this Little Red House,
Yes.
and we didn't get it.
Yeah, you would have. I was worried about that, but
Fair enough, yeah. And
But yeah, Greek Week for me, honestly, I have a really good time just competing, talking with the other organizations that are competing as well, like as I'm spectating. It was definitely a great week for us last year, and we ended up winning. So always a fun time.
Well, I do feel like for me personally, I get to enjoy this week a little bit, because in the 2024 semester, when I was a new member of Kappa Sigma, I was away the entire week for a conference, which, for the sake of my own sanity, I was very busy that semester, so it might have been a nice thing and a blessing in disguise almost that I was away for it, because priorities, distractions, this, that, and the third. 2025 last year, I was very busy off campus. Also had a lot of things going on campus, a little bit more on my plate, so I really didn't get a chance to invest as fully into the Greek Week side of things as I wanted to. But this semester, I feel like I'm in a good spot to where I can actually enjoy this week. And number one, it's my final crack at it, if you will. For Andrew, it's his fourth crack at this. So, and I'm sure you've been involved since way from the start. But Ian, this is going to be new for you. I'm sure you've heard things a lot about it. How are you feeling going into the week?
I am so excited. You have no idea. I'm so excited. I love
Amazing.
dancing. I'm not very good at it, but I love dancing. Hunter can vouch for me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a character when I get to dancing, but
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely most excited for that part. I'm not in a bunch of the competitions because of the sorority or the seniority situation, but
Right.
I'm so excited for the dance.
Yeah, well, I just have one more question on this. I'm sure Andrew got a couple things you're going to want to talk about Greek Week, but who's in your spelling bee?
I think
It's Josh and
Renix and
Octo.
Sean. Yeah.
Oh, okay, amazing.
Is that what
because
you're in?
That's what I'm in. That's like that's my
That's his Super Bowl.
That's my
some would
Super
say.
Bowl, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I was a spelling bee champion in middle school in 6th grade in 2016.
heck
So
You guys better be scared.
yeah, you remember like the It's Giving 2016 trends, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. So Monday night it is live at 5 in Dauphin, room 051. So it's nice in my opinion. Like I know some people like might have a different opinion on this about having a spelling bee in it. Like what's that got to do with everything else we're doing this week? Well, for the mathletes in the room like myself, it gives me an opportunity perhaps to show up a little bit. But at trivia on Wednesday, I'm sure you guys will have a nice team for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't either of you on that or not.
I think I'm in it. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
nice, amazing. Andrew, what do you got to say about Greek Week here?
Oh, man. Well, first of all, you really made me feel old over here. Hunter's like, going into my second one. Ian's first, and you're like, oh, I haven't really been at a Greek Week. And then you're like, Andrew, you're going into your fourth. I'm like, man, way to make me feel old. Like,
Well, I'm older than you.
just put me down. Just put me down.
Oh, my
please.
gosh.
It's over. But Greek Week's always an exciting time for our chapter, especially over the last 2 years or so. This year and then last year, where we came just so close to you guys. Respect to you guys. Congratulations. I believe that was four in a row?
Yeah, 4 Pete.
I don't know about you, but I might be using my 4 senior power to stop that 5 Pete. I don't know if I want to see it. But,
4 consecutive years. So this goes
that's a
back
lot
to
of credit. I mean, that's
2022.
almost entire graduating classes. You got people that will come in and they didn't know anything but winning. That's huge props to that. But Greek Week is always just so fun, and it's always a lot of fun when we like to friendly chirp at each other. It's just like it's all friendly
It's all fun
competition.
vibes, yeah.
I remember last year during basketball, I was just standing there, and I think it was for your basketball game. All of a sudden, they didn't have a ref, and they were like, "Yeah, you're reffing." I'm like, "What?" And then I made a call, and then people started screaming at me. I'm like, "I'm done," and I just left. Like they put someone else in as a ref. I'm like, "I'm not doing this."
Yeah, right.
People start yelling at me, and I'm like, "I was just standing here as a bystander. I was watching."
Yeah.
But Greek Week's always fun. The lip sync, I'm really excited to see what you guys do because yours has always been very good. I think ours has been very good as well. It's always been the top 2, some would say.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, no one said that. And this year I've definitely taken a step back in terms of the dances. I've been working a lot more, so that's taking my time away from practice. But I've also acknowledged that I'm not a good dancer at all. I have no coordination, so I'm just, I'm doing a good service by taking myself out. I'm in one dance this year. It's the last song. I think it's pretty cool, but that's it. I'm not in any of the other activities. I'm ready to just be a spectator.
Yeah.
And, maybe I'm taking on the spectator role a little early as, that's what I'm going to be, post May 9th.
Right.
I'm going to be a spectator. I'm going to be an alumni. And, I definitely will be a huge cheerleader for all of Greek life here at SHIP.
Oh, yeah.
But, Hunter, what would you say has been your, other than lip sync, because I'm getting the vibe that lip sync was your favorite activity.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say was your favorite activity from last year that, maybe if you participated, maybe not, just overall the activity as a whole?
Honestly, I really like the yard games. The yard games are always fun. I did want to do spike ball this year because I do think that I have what it takes to get us that first place in spike ball. But I really did enjoy watching the yard games last year. It was really fun.
Yep, and we'll get Ian. I mean, I'm sure you're going to have some things you're optimistic about. Beyond the dancing, I'd say you have a few ideas for what you're looking forward to seeing at least. But we're going to take a quick break here, talking all about Greek Speak and Greek Week here on WSYC 88.7 FM. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back on Greek Speak here on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. We're still talking about Greek Week. Ian, you talked about you're involved in the lip sync performance, of course. That's going to be the climax of the week, if you will, number 1. Then number 2, you said you're doing trivia. Are you in anything else throughout the week, or what's your role, I guess?
I think it's just trivia, honestly.
Okay.
Which I'm a little worried about. I don't even know if I'm that good at trivia, but I'm going to have to deep dive into my brain to find some answers.
I will say I did it last year, and that at the end of the day, you look at the point totals, that made a difference.
Oh,
and
really? Okay.
I felt crappy about it afterward, but that was just the reality of it. It was a really hard competition to kind of stand out with, just the formatting of it. I felt like I don't know if it wasn't in sort of my wasn't favorable for us or what, but They kind of switched up the questions. They had the sororities go first. They asked questions I felt like I've been better off answering. Then the fraternities, they're giving out a little bit more, I guess, pop culture, if you will. That's where I'm a little deficient with. So I don't know how they're going to do it, obviously, this year. I'm excited to find out, but it's going to be back at it. Of course, the banners are now up in the Cub Great Hall. They look astounding. I saw your guys' earlier. So agriculture is the theme.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm excited to see what your your playlist will be for lip sync.
It's a good playlist.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we have luxury. So that's the first district from the Hunger Games, of course. That's the overall theme. Are you guys familiar with the Hunger Games at all? Because
I've
don't
definitely
have
heard
much.
of it. Like, I've definitely seen some things, but
Yeah.
I haven't really like watched it or.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in the same boat. I haven't either.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I think I might have watched like part of it once, but like that was about it. And I think it was Scarlett Johansson that's in it, or was in it. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know much. I just know that they just keep producing them and they keep on coming out. And I'm like, oh, whoa, yay, the Hunger Games is coming out. Yay, it's another movie I'm not going to see.
I think it's a great idea for a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a niche one, but like they used to do like Hunger Games on Minecraft, if you will.
Yeah.
That's I know
the
that
Hunger
better.
Games I'm familiar
I know
with.
that. Yeah, I know that better than I know the real Hunger Games, which is a sad commentary, perhaps, on myself, because that's obviously one of the most famous works of literature and even movies in our modern culture. So I definitely have to get more well versed on that. But I guess this week is perhaps a slight chance of doing that. But yeah, the banners look amazing throughout the Great Hall. Of course, we'll be tabling throughout the week with different philanthropy projects and cash wars. So points abound for chapters and organizations to earn and try and get the #1 title for it, and perhaps trying to knock you guys off the throne here a little bit. But I mean, you got any sort of, I guess, remarks about your confidence in winning a 5th one?
Honestly, I have a lot of confidence. I have a confidence in my abilities. I have confidence in my brother's abilities for sure. But it's like also there's also a little bit of pressure because you got the guys that graduated last year having their 4-peat.
Yeah.
And I guess as a new member at the time, we were like kind of taught to like embrace that standard, embrace the standard of winning. And again, I'm very competitive. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to be happy if we lose.
Right.
You don't want to be known as the group that ends the streak.
Right. No, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I don't know. I mean, I am, the banner winners were announced. Congratulations to you guys.
Right.
Thank you.
With 20 points. Pylam came in second with 15, and then there was us in third with 10 points, and then Katie Phi at 5. So you already got a lead, but I don't know. I mean, we've had our guys training for months, every day. They're out in the fields running sprints. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it all starts. I mean, it's 11 a.m. So good morning, wake up call, if you will. It's the Yard Games. It starts off on Sunday. There is a medallion hunt as well on Sunday. Is there?
Well, I think that starts Monday because
Monday,
I think it's
okay.
Yard Games, and then you have your lip sync rehearsal at Memorial Auditorium on Sunday.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then
If you don't mind me asking, I'm kind of intrigued by this medallion thing. Like, I've never been through this before, so I'm intrigued on what this like looks like.
I guess, Andrew, you'd be better off explaining this one in full.
Yeah, so each year it's been different, and I think in previous years it's actually been like a different item. But this year I think it's like a Mockingjay, kind of like
okay.
From the Hunger Games. It's just a specific little like piece of paper or something like that they will hide in a certain location, and then they'll post on the Ship Greeks, or you're going to do it on Ship Greeks or the Greek Week Instagram. Just kind of a clue, and you kind of have to brainstorm and see. Okay. I know where that structure's at. Let's go there. Mm-hmm. Like I remember last year, I think one of them was at the pavilion that was like all the way down there behind Stevers, and we were just there. We were just so late. I think Phi Sig got it, but that was definitely very depressing. But those points add up. Those points add up at the end of the day, and it comes down to the very end. I mean, I think we lost by 5.
I was going to say, I think that's like part of the reason why we won last year.
Yeah.
We found that one medallion. I don't know if we ended up finding another through that week, but
it's literally like that. They could change on a dime.
Well, it's also, you have trivia, like questions going on, not even the trivia event, but it's also there's trivia on the Instagram where there's points given out to the winners of that. And also a lot of opportunities to lose points, too. So that's where you kind of need all the troops to be in line throughout the week, if you will, to not have any sort of problems in that sense, whether it's just the regulatory stuff, conduct, like this, that, and the third. So hopefully everybody minds their P's and Q's, especially from our organization, which I think will be fine. We explained it pretty clearly to everybody what's going on. So, but yeah, all that to be said, I mean, the fun, of course, it already got started with the banners up today, and they'll be up throughout most of next week, if not all of it. And the competition really heats up on Sunday. But like I said earlier, I'm excited for it to have a bit of a role in this and kind of like Andrew said, it's my Super Bowl Monday night. But just to like be around some of the events, like I definitely feel like I have the time on my schedule to be able to actually just go to some of this and see the competition kind of play out. Not necessarily from a not like from a passive role where you're hearing, oh, we got this many points, or being able to actually watch the things, I think will be a fun experience. But more than anything, I really believe the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, they deserve a lot of credit for this. They are, of course, creating an event that involves several hundred people on campus, number one. Number two, it's a marathon of sorts that goes from, of course, right now at the banners all the way to next Thursday night. Right. They're probably responding to a lot of inquiries, doing the legwork when it comes to the medallion hunt, as well as the committee. So, of course, we're very proud that we have two of our brothers that are on that committee. It's Michael Luzzi and Connor Skiles. They've done a remarkable job. I don't know if you guys from PSK have any sort of committee representation, but regardless, it's an effort that I think it tests event planning skills, number one. But number two, just it adds another layer of chaos, I imagine, on their end for what goes on in mid-April at any college.
Yeah, we have Chase Petrasic doing, I think, event coordination with Connor.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's been pretty busy with that too.
Right. Good for them, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's great leadership experience. It's something that you could really talk about, in a job interview or a resume or something like that. I mean, I know Michael Luzzi. Everybody knows Luzzi. He's super hardworking and, loves Greek life no matter what organization you're in. So I'm very proud of Michael and Connor, as this is the first time in a long time that we've actually had people on the Greek Week committee. So, again, I'm very proud of them. And, shout out Chase. I'm sure he's doing a wonderful job. And the rest of the committee is, none of this would be possible without them. Yeah. Faith, Dylan, Brandon. So, yeah, as Luke said, they deserve a lot of credit. But, yeah, I'll just pass things back over to Luke as we are getting running a little low on time.
Yeah, running towards the end of the show here. But, again, really exciting time to be involved in Greek life, of course. Any spring semester is, especially as new members become brothers. You also have transition of leadership, at least within our organization. I guess that's not the case for you guys. It's our organization where that happens. Okay. We've talked about this before, especially when Luke had a lot more of a co-hosting role. Like our president, Luke Hilligus, was on here a number of times. He's talked about before how our election cycle is – it goes off the academic year, whereas everybody else, it goes off the calendar. So that's heating up for us right now, not to mention what we're talking about with the new members and the brothers and that type of thing. So it's a very busy time. Also a busy day as well for the Greek community. I'm sure you guys will have a role in this as well. It is Relay for Life tonight. Yes. So an incredible event, thousands and thousands of dollars getting raised to try and make a difference in the battle against cancer in any way, shape, or form that us as college students can do. This is a 9-hour marathon, so I will be there for a hefty portion of it, I'm sure, and as well as pretty much everybody in the Greek community will have a role in it. So there's food, there's contests, there's games, and everything else. It's really, again, it's been a good event. It's my third year going to it, obviously, but my last one, unfortunately, but that's just another layer to what goes on in the Greek community in early, mid-April, as well as this campus. So we'll take one more pause, and then we'll transition into our last segment of the show. Again, this is Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, and we're back here on Greek Speak, and we always wrap it up with a bit of a surprise for our guests. So Ian and Hunter, we have obviously talked extensively with you today, and Andrew and I have kind of fired off some questions, given some comments as well, but we always like to give this moment for you guys to flip the script a little bit and to give a chance for you guys to ask questions to Andrew and I. So I wonder if you guys have any questions in mind for us.
This definitely is a surprise. I was prepared to answer the questions today, not ask them. I guess, because you guys are graduating soon. Like, how have you felt like Greek life impact you throughout the 4 years that you guys have been here?
Yeah. Andrew, I mean, you can give the more complete view because Greek life has been basically since the start for you.
Man, here he is calling me old again.
No, I'm older than you. I keep saying that.
I have a few months, man.
I know.
Man, it's a tough question. And, it's something that I've answered in some way, shape, and form throughout the show because it's a common question, and I think it hits home now as we're, hitting the home stretch, some would say. It's played a traumatic impact on my life, whether it's personally, professionally, mentally, psychologically. But, these people have grown into, started as my friends. And, at the end of the day, organizations have brothers and sisters. Like, these are people that I generally do consider, like, my brothers. Yeah. Brother from another mother, as some would say. Yeah. Luke, the other Luke, countless amount of people. Like, I know that if I ever needed something, I could go to them and they would be there in a heartbeat. If I crashed, if I got, my car broke down 3 hours away, I know that there's, probably 5 brothers I could call and they'd be there as soon as they could. And, I don't know if I would have had that, if I didn't do this, didn't take upon this opportunity. And then, being part of leadership for the last 2 years, I know I've joked about it a little bit over the show. We have elections this Sunday, and then we have a 2-week training period before we install our new officers. And I'm incredibly excited to elect a new person to our to different positions, but especially mine, as I've been in the position for 2 years. And I'm just really excited to see what they can do. I'm going to be there every step of the way. Even when I graduate, I still want to help them. Yeah. Just a short phone call away. But, it's just really helped me grow up. This organization's taken me to 2 different cities, whether it was, New Orleans, Louisiana in the summer of 2024, and then Las Vegas, Nevada in the summer of 2025. That one was a little bit more special, as I was actually an intern, a communications intern, so I was there. They flew me out there. I was working for them. I'm currently still doing work for them. I actually just produced a video for the Masters, which will be coming out soon. So I know it's not your guys' fraternity, but, whenever it goes on the Instagram, maybe you guys check it out. I worked hard on that, but, this place has given me so much more than I could have ever imagined, and I truly am sad to let it go. Words can't describe everything that it's given to me, and I'm not emotional today, but I can only imagine what the last episode of this is going to be. The day that we walk across the graduation stage. I don't know what my emotions are going to be. Probably not the same as this, but again, it's taught me so much, and I'm super appreciative, and it's given me lessons and people that I will have for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is I came in 4th semester, so second semester sophomore year. I think to me there's so much of my campus experience is a before and after with Kappa Sigma. And I don't like to think about what life was like for me before it, because I will say this is, I talked about this before on the show, but like things weren't going amazing for me prior to joining Kappa Sigma. And even during my new member process, I probably wasn't as engaged as I should have been. Had a chance to stay at Shippensburg for the summer of 2024. Became extremely close to the 5 or 6 people that were living at the house. Andrew was one of them. And I feel like that just gave me all the momentum to just really stand out once the fall semester rolled around, and then just have a more present role, and just have people that I knew were like, it wasn't just I was in the same fraternity as them. I just knew that there was a respect that was going on. But it goes beyond that, because I think there were times, especially when the things weren't going too well, I sometimes felt invisible on the campus. Not to say I wasn't involved in other things and hadn't already done some substantial and significant things to stand out, but like I didn't know too many people, and I wasn't sure if the people who did know me had the strongest opinions of me. And I think having joined Kappa Sigma when I did, it gave me a broader presence to meet new people, and again, just form a presence that I think people would start to respect and understand. And I will tell you is that it's hard to walk around places on campus and then not bump into somebody that you know. Yeah. And it's because, again, I've met hundreds of people through joining Greek life. I talked a lot about before the application of skill sets. That's certainly there, but I guess as my time runs out here on campus, that's been the number one for me. Is it's just, again, there's a before and after, and it's hard to even think about my campus experience, my college experience coming to an end, even though it's been 4 whole years, just because it's been completely flipped. The second half of my college experience is so much different than the first half. Right. I don't know, Ian, if you have any questions after. That was a really good one, Hunter.
I actually got one more, one other thing to add to that. It kind of connects to the show. Luke and I have talked several times about this, but this show literally started from just a small idea of like Luke and I wanted to, get involved within the radio station here at WSYC. I was just really excited, and I wanted to broaden my experience, broaden my knowledge, and it's been over 2 years now, almost over 2 years now, and it's been one of the honors of my life, and I wouldn't have this without being part of Greek life, because that was the purpose of the show. And I hope people understand and want to carry on the tradition, as we are actively looking for replacements. One of them may or may not be sitting in the room on the couch right now, just evaluating, watching a little bit. But I hope people will look back and really appreciate this, because this used to be a thing, apparently. Maybe not the same concept, or maybe not the exact same thing, but apparently years ago it used to be something. And then it took a huge hiatus, and especially over the last year, we had the proactive pause last fall, which definitely did not shine Greek life in the best light, and that was a really hard time for our chapter, and especially me mentally. Just sucked. But, not being able to see the eyes and stuff. But, I hope that the whole purpose was to shine a light on Greek life in a different purpose, whether it was, this helped you get an internship. This helped you when, you were in a rut, you were in a bad time, you were going through some bad times and stuff. But honestly, this show has in somewhat changed what I wanted to do. Like, I love sports, and I want to do sports. Like, I would love to do sports broadcasting, but, the idea of doing a podcast, has really, really grown and really crept up. And I've actually been applying for different podcast jobs as we speak. So, and I don't think that would have happened without this. So, again, I'm just super appreciative. But, Ian, do you have anything?
You kind of read my mind there. I was going to ask about the podcast and how you got into it. But actually, I did want to come off of what you said with the show helping with everything, like if you're in a rut or whatnot. Me personally, I was never much of a social person. And that's kind of the reason why I ended up rushing in the fall semester, because I wanted to try to make myself uncomfortable. And I think anyone who's listening should just go out there and do it. It has definitely made me more social. I never thought I would be on a talk show that is live, but I'm really appreciative for it. And anyone who's listening, I say go for it. Do what you think is best.
Yeah, rushing was definitely the best decision that I could have ever made coming here.
All right, that's so good to say, and it's so good to hear as well. And like you said, I think the point of making yourself uncomfortable, if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing. And you think about John F. Kennedy, and he gave a speech about why go to the moon. Ironic, because we just went back to the moon as a country and as a world, in the past couple days. But he always said, like, we go to the moon, we choose to go to the moon and do these things, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And I think that's what makes it really worthwhile. And it's harder for some than it is for others. But at the end of the day, you're going to find value in on the other side. But we are pushing the window for time. Hunter and Ian, you guys have both been amazing tonight. So thank you guys so much. Hope to see you guys at Relay for Life. And, of course, the battle will begin. We'll continue, I guess, through Greek Week next week. So really excited for the competition. And glad to have an episode again once more on the show. So thank you guys both for your role. And thank you guys for listening. We'll be back here next week on Greek Speak on WSYC 88.7 FM from Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Have a good night.